and I'm the alderman of Chicago's 35th Ward. And we are here today to ask for work permits for all. The Biden administration to use its executive authority to help the nearly 200,000 undocumented Chicagoans that have been waiting for decades in some instances for a path to legalization. We know that the President of the United States has the power to grant things like advanced parole, humanitarian parole in place, programs that would help people who have been experiencing living undocumented for a very long time get access to a work permit and get a little bit of status here in this country. Hola, yo me llamo Carlos Ramírez Rosa, soy concejal del Distrito 35 y estamos aquí hoy día para pedirle al presidente Biden que da permiso de trabajo a más inmigrantes. Aquí en la ciudad de Chicago hay casi 200,000 inmigrantes que han estado esperando en algunos casos por décadas por un permiso de trabajo. Y sabemos que este presidente tiene el poder administrativo, ejecutivo para dárselos. Entonces estamos aquí hoy día como una comunidad para pedirle al presidente Biden que toma esa acción y también para promover que la comunidad se une con nosotros este jueves cuando todos juntos vamos a pedirle al presidente Biden que da permiso de trabajo para todos. So, quiero empezar hoy día. I want to start today by calling up Joel Cortez, who's an organizer with Chicago Community and Workers' Rights. Joel?
Short amount of time that I've been working in CCWR, I've already seen countless workers struggle to apply for employment, and that is due to a lack of work permits. And many people are often forced to go to temporary staffing agencies where they are forced to use E-Verify. And for that reason, CCWR and all the worker centers of Chicago are asking you all to show up at the rally for work permits for all at 18th and Galina, Thursday, October 12th at 11 a.m. And now to hear the first-hand experience of one of these workers, I present to you all Alderpeople.
All right. Buenos días, mi nombre es Alberto Maldonado. Yo trabajé para Harshai por medio de Elite Staffing durante 14 años, sobre el cual fui despedido por mi situación migratoria. Por lo cual estamos aquí para pedir permisos de trabajo permanentes y le hago un llamado a la comunidad que nos acompañe a un rally este jueves 12 de octubre a las 11 de la mañana en la 18 y Polaina. Muchas gracias.
The community will be coming together to call on the Biden administration to use its executive authority to grant work permits for all. So we are joined by a number of colleagues on the Chicago City Council that are joining the community and making this call to the Biden administration. And first, I want to introduce the Alderwoman of the 33rd Ward and the chair of the Committee on Health and Human Relations, Alderwoman Rosana Rodriguez.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning. My name is Rosana Rodriguez. I'm the woman of the 33rd Ward. We are here because people deserve dignified lives. We are here because people are not even asking for welfare. People are asking to be able to work in safe conditions, to be able to earn decent wages, and we know that people are working. But people are working in unsafe conditions, people are being victims of wage theft, and we know that our country can do with workers right now. So what we are asking President Biden is a very, very basic thing. Give people protection so that they can work, so that they can serve, so that they can make this country better. They are already working. We need to protect them. We need to make have the possibility of doing work that is fairly comfortable. Estamos aquí hoy pidiendo al presidente Biden que extienda los permisos de trabajo para todo el mundo. Tenemos muchísima gente indocumentada que no está pudiendo trabajar con permisos judiciales ahora mismo, pero nosotros sabemos que nuestra comunidad ir a trabajar. Nosotros sabemos que la gente sí está trabajando, pero están trabajando en condiciones que no son seguras, que están trabajando por paga que no es suficiente, que no es justa, y necesitamos asegurarnos de que nuestras comunidades están protegidas, que están en espacios de trabajo donde pueden tener protecciones legales. Así que vamos a estar todos en solidaridad con todos y todas las trabajadoras indocumentadas en Chicago este jueves, y esperamos que todo el mundo se une. Muchas gracias.
And next up, we have the one and only alderperson of the 25th Ward, the chair of the Housing and Real Estate Committee, Alderman Byron Cesar Lopez.
Muchas gracias y muy buenos días. Quería comenzar agradeciendo la presencia de algunos de los representantes del concilio. Quiero agradecer al representante jefe del Comité de Inmigración, André Vázquez, por estar aquí también, a la chair, como digo, del Comité de Salud, la jefa del Comité de Salud, Rosana Rodríguez Sánchez. También tenemos a la concejal del Distrito 26, Jessy Fuentes, y tenemos también la presencia del jefe de bloque, del jefe de nuestro bloque, del floor leader, Carlos Ramírez Rosa. También agradecer a todas las organizaciones que están en la comunidad inmigrante. No podemos permitir más segregación racial, más explotación laboral, más discriminación, incluso afectando a niños y niñas de nuestra comunidad, los más vulnerables, la clase trabajadora. Por eso, el día jueves, en la comunidad de Pilsen, que estamos orgullosos, ha sido un puerto de entrada para generaciones de inmigrantes en nuestra ciudad y a lo largo del país. Vamos a hacer un llamado público a movilizarnos a las 11 de la mañana en la 1805 al sur de la Paulana, desde Pilsen para toda la ciudad y a lo largo del país. Un llamado para que todos tengamos permisos de trabajo, que no se deje a nuestra comunidad, a los cientos de miles de personas en la ciudad de Chicago y a los más de 11 millones de personas a lo largo del país que siguen pidiendo el derecho al trabajo, el derecho a la dignidad, el derecho a la vida. Por eso nosotros queremos en estos momentos agradecer a la presencia no solo de la comunidad latina, a la comunidad asiática, a la comunidad polaca, a toda la comunidad africana, a todos quienes somos inmigrantes, a un llamado a la convocatoria pública, a un llamado a una movilización masiva, comenzando desde este jueves por el Día de la Raza a las 11 de la mañana, en una movilización permanente hasta que el presidente Biden escuche las demandas de nuestra comunidad inmigrante, permisos de trabajo para todos, inversión social para nuestra comunidad. Just want to thank all the organizations, all the persons who are here representing immigrant communities, migrant communities, ports of entry that continue to be safe havens and sanctuary for many people in our city. We think it's time for our government to stop acting as apartheid states. And let me give you the definition of apartheid states: the implementation and maintenance of a system of legalized racial segregation in which one racial group is deprived of political and civil rights. That is what's happening now in our country. And I think it's time that our community stops allowing the dehumanization of our community and start demanding what's right, just and fair, which is work permits for all. That is the time that our community rises as the sleeping giant. When the system tries to divide us and dehumanize us, we gotta bring our communities together to mobilize us. So on Thursday, our community at 11 a.m. for El Día de la Raza, we're going to mobilize our immigrant community, not only our Latino community, we're going to mobilize our Polish community, our Asian community, our African communities, all our immigrant communities at one voice to make sure that we demand of President Biden effective executive action to have not only work permits for all, but the desperate needed investment in the city of Chicago and across central cities that are desperately needing federal action and no more excuses. Thank you so much, and see you on Thursday at 11 a.m.
And next, I want to welcome up the chair of the Committee on Immigrant and Refugee Rights, the alderperson of the 40th Ward, Alderman Andre Vasquez.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alderperson Andre Vasquez of the 40th Ward. As Carlos mentioned, Alderman Ramirez-Rosa, also the chair of the Committee on Immigrant Refugee Rights. I want to thank you all so much for organizing this junta to have us all here. We find ourselves in a nation that calls itself a nation of immigrants. When you think about the different populations, just one day after Indigenous Peoples Day, I want to level set what we're talking about. There are three large groups of populations we have here in the country. There are the indigenous populations who had their land stolen from them. There are the descendants of slavery who were forced here and put into slavery. And then everyone else is descended from immigrants. Every single other population that came here, Italian, Polish, Irish, Ukrainian, everything that you're seeing are folks that have been brought into this country to help make it the country that we know it to be, that we proclaim it to be. But that has not been what we've been seeing lately, and especially under this administration. What we saw, and we all know as we're living it, there are 18,000 current Venezuelan and other migrants, new arrivals that have come here, that are, out of them, about 10,000 sleeping on police station floors in the O'Hare Airport. So we have been clamoring, we've been screaming and urging the president to take action, that folks that were currently new arrivals needed to find work because we have a bottleneck that the current municipal government cannot sustain. We thought that was the beginning of the conversation, and we're heartened somewhat to see that there was some movement that provided TPS for some of the population. But we know, and knew then, and continue to know, that it is not nearly enough. That if you're not creating the kind of system and protection, whether through TPS or through parole designation through the Department of Homeland Security, for all undocumented folks that are in the city and in the country, you are not solving the problem, you're creating more of them. What we are seeing now is that there are undocumented folks who've been here for years, over a decade, longer, that have been seeking the same kind of work authorization that is now going to be granted some of the new arrivals. Let's be clear. If that work authorization is not extended to the entire undocumented population here in the country, you are causing more division, and definitely causing more division in the city that is already experiencing it because of the pressure brought on by a large migrant influx. And this is only going in one direction. With climate change being what it is, there will be more migration into cities like Chicago. If the president does not do what is necessary in this moment to grant the work authorization, you are causing more division that is going to divide our country. On the other hand, if you do the right thing and provide the work authorization, you are doing something that is inherently fair, it is just, but also improves your nation. You're adding a larger tax base. You're creating more workers. You're creating more work being done when there's a labor shortage in certain industries. By creating that system, by creating that work, you're adding more generations into what this nation is. We are creating a system where there's more tax base to provide even more level of service for everyone that needs it. This isn't about handouts. It's not about welfare. It's about people wanting to work. And the fact that the federal government is impeding that ability for someone to work, to add to this country, is unconscionable. At the same time that we've seen 18,000 new arrivals, 29,000 new Ukrainians have come into the city and have been integrated seamlessly. So the possibility and the opportunity is there. What we are demanding and urging is for President Biden, through the Stafford Act, to declare an emergency declaration and to do everything in his power, because it's not about Congress. We know they can't move forward together. They can't even decide on what to eat for dinner. We need the president to take on action as an executive, elected official, to call for an executive order to move forward to expand the work authorization and do the right thing, as well as provide the necessary resources to get that expedited quickly. Because even if you do grant the work authorization to the larger population, if you don't have a system in place to move it forward quickly, you're not solving the problem. And we want to make it clear in Chicago, which is going to be the host of the Democratic National Convention, if you don't take the necessary responsibilities now, everyone will suffer for it once you actually have the Democratic Convention here. You will see people in the streets, not just protesting, but trying to live because they don't have work. You will have a Republican Party that is looking to make Chicago look like a disaster, the Democratic Party look like a disaster, and the president look like a disaster just months away from a presidential election. It is the right thing to do on a justice platform. It is also the right thing to do politically. Do what you need to do if you are the leader of this nation. It needs that kind of leadership in this moment. Thank you very much.
questions? All right, with that, that is it.